Hi. So I have again returned to the live stream. Yeah, I think this one is going to work this time. Let's see. Let's find out. Kama yet ina sound. Let's find out. Yes. Before she Africans, not Africans, of course, not all Africans will leave Africa and they come to USA and abduct children. Not all Africans will do that. In fact, the population of Africa will not fit into USA. So the video, it's good that we have the disclaimer, not all Africans, but some Africans are coming to the United States and they are abducting children and they're using these children in bad ways, which I don't want to talk on the live stream. So maybe you can give me your thoughts on what you think about that video. Do you think that video is too much? Do you think it's okay? Me talking about Black Americans, children being abducted by Africans. Is it okay? Because I've gotten some comments and I had to delete the comments. Yeah, they were so insultive, abusive, and I didn't think those comments were good. They were not good at all. Yes. So kindly like the live stream so that we can be able to broadcast to many people as we can. So like the live stream, please. Right. Also, you can ask me some questions as we continue. St. James, we would love to hear about your village. Do you want to hear about my village? I have a lot of stories to tell. So myself, I'm an African, as you know. I come from the eastern part of the motherland. I come from a country that borders the Indian Ocean. I come from the eastern side. Kenya is on the eastern side of Africa. I'm being told that I'm coming from the western part of Africa. It's not eastern. It's not western. It's eastern. Yeah. Sorry about that. Today I'm so distracted. So I come from the eastern part of Africa, and yeah, I'm from a village on the western part of Kenya. That's about my village. Actually, I did a video about my village. If you want, you can always watch the videos about my village and the village life and about that place. It's a very peaceful place. We don't have a lot of industrialization. There's quiet. Everything is organic. Food is organic. It's okay. St. James, tell me about your tribe. Yeah, good question. Good question. So I'm a Nilot. You know, in Africa we have four main language groups. Four. We have the Nilots, we have the Bantus, we have the Kushites, and we have the Semites. So myself, I am a Nilot, and Nilots, we have some languages within it. For example, the Maasais. You guys know the Maasais. When we call Africa, the Maasai are synonymous to Africa, and Africa is synonymous to the Maasai. So my language, we belong in the same language as the Maasai. So we are called the Luo. The Maasai have captured the plains of Kenya, and we have captured the lake areas of Kenya. Yeah. So as I said before, I'm waiting for a guest to join the live stream so that we can have a conversation about Black Americans and Africans. Yeah. So I'm waiting for the guest. Sorry guys, kindly, I'm so sorry. I had a live stream and I set a meeting with a Black American sister. So we had to have a conversation, but unfortunately, my link on her side to the live stream could not work. So I had to cancel the first live stream so that I start another one and for her to be able to join. And so we are waiting for her so that we can join the live stream. So I kindly request for your patience. Just in a few seconds, yes. She will be joining and we will be having conversations on Africans and African Americans. It's an important discourse that uh, will impact a lot of positivity to you because I make this video so that we are able to bridge the gap between the Africans and the Africans Americans. Yeah, I'm trying as hard as I can, and also you guys on the other side, I know you're trying as hard you can for us to bridge the gap. You see, when I'm African from Kenya, another African from Uganda or Tanzania, when they meet in the United States, we don't see the countries in them. We see a fellow black person, see an African. Yes. So let's have some patience and let's wait for the sister to join. That's why I'm on my phone. Thank you. Thank you. So Kuya, uh, I'm sending the link again. It's working. It's working on my side. So I'm sending it to you for it to work. Okay. Just hold on a little bit. Kumbe ilifaa mtu anaingia na simu nyingine. Now I'm able to type on this side. Mm. So I'm sending the link to the chat. Yes. I have sent the link and here we are. So if you tap on that link, yeah, thank you, brother from Cincinnati, Ohio. How are you doing? How is Ohio? Is it Ohio or Ohio? In Africa, we would call that Ohio because Ohio. Is it the Ohio or Ohio? Whichever. But I believe you're doing fine. So I've sent the link to the lives to the chatting. We can be able to trace it from that side. So there we have the link. What gap are you talking about? Good question, brother. We have the cultural disparities. We have not the. We have what can we call it? Let me. Does not work. Are you using, I believe if it's not working, you are using a laptop. Are you using a laptop to access the live stream? Maybe the link is only compatible with the devices that are connected to an Android phone or an iPhone phone. So maybe the framework of the link is for phones, not iPhones, because it's working on my side. So let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. So here we have a live stream. Here is the live stream that you can see. Let me show you this first before you access the phone. Oh, hi, yo. Oh, see. So here's the live stream, as you can see. So I want to access this live stream as a guest. Okay, this one here. So I will go to my Gmail. I'll tap on it. You see what's happening? The phone is asking for permissions for it to join, for it to open the camera, but I'm not going to give it permission. Okay, let me just give it permission, but I'm not going to allow it on the live. Yes. While using the app, you see what's happening? It's telling me to join. It's telling me to join, but I've still not joined. So if you tap this join, it will bring you there. Oh yeah, sure. Let me add you. Yeah. Yeah.
You were correct. It's because yours was for Android and I was on my laptop.
Wow. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How's your day going?
I'm also fine.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Yeah. You know, I thought that you are younger.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm ancient. I'm very ancient. Yeah, I'm retired. So, yeah.
So I and my partner were saying, kuya, kuya, kuya. So today we've seen the kuya.
Yeah. Yeah. My YouTube name is like I mentioned to you before, it's in Jamaican patois, and it means
Yes.
look here. Kuya means look here, and Kude means
Yes.
look there. And I chose that
Yeah.
name because I love to do research, and I just thought that would be a good way to say it in Jamaican patois, which I love. I love Jamaican patois. I love hearing it, and yeah.
Yeah. Interesting,
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
The word news comes from the idea north, east, west, south. So Kuya is also
Hmm.
like news, gathering news.
What does it mean? In which language? Swahili?
I'm saying
Uh-huh.
for the word news,
Oh yeah.
news for information, it means
Oh.
it's a collection of north,
Oh,
east,
really?
west, and south. Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Well, I
and
think I think these words are African, but we don't know what tribal language it comes from because our language is mixed with lots of different tribal languages from West
mm,
Africa. But I think they say West Africa, but I think it's just Bantu words because I
uh,
see similar. A lot of our words are used in different parts of Africa.
yeah.
So. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy to see you.
Well, I love your channel. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem.
Hmm.
You see, this channel is open to everyone,
Hmm.
Black American, African, it's open to everyone.
Yeah, and
Yes.
yeah, people of all ages are moving away from the U.S. So a lot of people my age are moving as well, and it's because it's a lot easier for us because we retire and move, whereas younger
Mm,
people it's a little harder for them because they have to figure out how to earn an income.
mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, how is right now? Where are you at? Is it US? Which state of US?
I moved from the U.S. to Jamaica last year because I'm from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I moved to Jamaica last year, I hadn't made up my mind if I was going to stay in Jamaica. I just thought I would start here, and
Mm,
I would look at some African countries. And I think I'm still considering Africa. We went to visit South Africa, but South
mm,
Africa and Botswana, and Botswana we liked a lot. South Africa we
mm,
really loved it, but South Africa has a lot of social problems that I don't
mm,
think I'm mentally ready to handle, or I'm not really sure. To be honest with you, after living in Jamaica,
mm.
I don't feel like I have to move to a country where I still have to deal with racism because I don't have to deal with
Yeah.
racism here in Jamaica. And that's one of the things
Mm,
I loved. When I first moved back here, it just
mm,
felt so good to wake up every single day and never
mm,
have to think about race. It is like
mm,
such a peace that you have with
mm,
yourself and your environment when you wake up every day and
mm,
know that you're just going to be treated like a human being.
mm.
Yeah. But I think one thing that people who are leaving the US need to keep in mind
Mm,
is that once you leave the US, it's a great relief and everything, and you feel like your stress has been reduced by 1,000,000%.
mm,
But you're still dealing with the trauma of
mm.
having lived there. It really traumatizes you. And that's one thing I
You-
never hear any expats from the, returnees to Africa. I never hear them talk about that, but it's definitely an issue. And
mm,
it's not just from your own, history of being there, not just your own personal experience. It's from watching what they're doing to people who look like you.
mm,
And because you're still seeing it happening, it still affects. You know what I mean?
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because it's like a post-traumatic stress disorder.
yes, exactly.
When
Yes.
you when, when you open the screen,
Mm-hmm.
each day when you open your TV, you might not
Mm-hmm.
miss something about police and the black people. and you
Mm-hmm.
cannot believe that something happened to a black person.
Mm-hmm.
And so also you might have the discomfort of the survivor's guilt. Yeah,
Yes.
you can feel like you've left people behind suffering, and
Yes.
that. So all this robs you of your peace.
Yeah, you're so
I
right. I
believe
never
so.
thought about that. The survivor's guilt. Yeah, that's
Mm,
definitely an issue. You know, I have to
yeah.
tell you that, you know, because I'm a believer, I pray
Mm,
for uh Black Americans who are still in America. I pray for them every
mm,
single day. I
mm.
really do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
maybe you can give us your experience. What is the worst thing that has ever happened to you that that really made you leave US and come to Jamaica? Are you in Jamaica?
Yeah, I'm in Jamaica. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
What's the
What is that
worst
bad
thing that ever
experience?
happened to me?
Mm,
Oh gosh. I have to think I think the hardest thing for me, the hardest thing for me was really raising my children there.
mm,
You had to always worry about racism. I even was telling my daughter that, you know, I always made sure that every time they left the house, they looked neat and clean. And
mm,
you know, it's really hard for me to say because I never had a really traumatic experience that I can remember personally. I didn't personally have one, but it's just the
mm,
things that you constantly worry about that you're not even aware that you're worrying about all the time. Like you know, when you're a parent, you think about whether people are going to treat your children fairly. So you're traumatized by the bad experiences your children have. We
mm,
moved to Atlanta, and it's very racist there. Even though I lived in New York City's racist too, but the racism is a
mm,
little different. People in New York are more polite than people are in Atlanta in regards to racism, and it's because New York is kind of a place that kind of has a, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Okay, in New York, people are polite to each other because they don't know who you are. They don't know, because you have to mix with all kinds of people in New York, right? Because you take public
mm.
transportation. So
True.
if you step on someone's toes, you're gonna be quick to apologize to them. And
Yeah.
you wouldn't say something rude or aggressive to a random stranger or to somebody in school or work unless you're ready to fight them. Okay. I know
Mm,
it sounds
mm.
crazy, but fighting is part of life in New
No,
York
no, it
City, right?
ain't
It's kind
crazy.
of
It
ghetto.
ain't crazy.
New
Okay,
York is kind
okay.
of ghetto.
So, okay, Kuya today,
Hmm. Hmm.
I want to ask you 10 questions.
Okay.
These 10 questions are only about the the aspect of you leaving America, going to Jamaica.
Okay. Hmm.
All right. All right. Are you okay? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Let me have some water first.
Okay.
The first question is this, huh?
Hmm.
What motivated you to move from the United States to Jamaica?
I got tired of how bad Black people are treated there. I just got fed up with it, and I decided that I just really didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I quit one of the best jobs I ever had. It's the highest salary job I ever had. And I just moved. I told my husband, listen, I'm moving in July, whether you want to move or not. And I made my plans and I moved. I just moved. And he joined me a few months later. That's how
Mm,
determined I was.
yeah,
Yeah. There are other reasons also in addition to that. In addition to being
yeah.
tired of seeing our people being tortured and murdered every day on average. This is what's reported, but I think it's higher. Every day on average, a police officer kills a Black person for no reason in America.
Mm,
That's just the ones that
mm,
are reported. I'm sure there are lots of of incidences that are not reported. And in addition to that, you have, just random people killing Black people, like for reasons like they're jogging in their own neighborhood. Like there was a guy named Ahmad Marbury. He was jogging in his neighborhood. And I think it was, two men got together and decided they were just going to kill him. And they killed him. And they killed him and filmed it.
Why was that?
They decided that he was a threat to them in some way, and they just killed him. They didn't want him jogging in the neighborhood. Yeah. You can look it up. You can look it up online. Tons of stories about it. Yeah.
Such stories you'll never hear them in the motherland. And when you hear them in the motherland,
you mean we don't hear them happening over there, right?
No, not as frequent as the States. No.
Okay.
In fact, it might be just an ordinary robber robbing a fellow robber, but it's not racially influenced. It's not racially influenced. It's just things within the society, like somebody stealing.
Yeah.
Theft can be intra-racial, like the people themselves can steal from the people themselves. It does not process the roots. Yeah. So I think we should cross to number 2, the second question. I hope you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
So how has your experience been as a Black American living in Jamaica? You are different. Has anyone noticed
I'm Jamaican. I'm a Jamaican American because I spent most of my life. I moved to America when I was a child. So being a returnee, it does put you in a different category than a regular Jamaican who's been living here. And I have to say that my experience has been great. And I know Black Americans, African Americans who moved here. As a matter of fact, I moved to Jamaica with the help of an African American woman who started an expat group. It was her group that helped me move back. It's been a great experience. Living in Jamaica, being a returnee or being an expat in Jamaica is very similar to being an expat or a returnee in Africa. It's very, the challenges are similar in the sense that people try to charge you extra. They try to charge you a higher price for things. Yeah, so that's one of the challenges. But other than that, I'm having a great experience. Jamaicans are very warm and very friendly, very helpful. They love helping people. And I'm really having a great experience. Jamaica has a really bad reputation among Jamaican Americans and any Jamaican abroad. And in general, Jamaica has a bad experience for being a dangerous place. But I'm not, I feel safer here than I do in America. I think what happens to Black countries like Jamaica and countries in Africa is that the media blows up the negatives about our countries and it distorts what it's really like. But generally, I feel safer here. Like I see people doing things here in Kingston, which is our biggest city, that no one in New York, even in the countryside, would do. Like, for example, they leave their doors wide open all day till 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, and I even have friends who tell me that they will leave their front and back doors open while they're taking a nap in their bedroom. So even though my country has a reputation for being dangerous, it's not like what people say. It's really a lot. It's a lot nicer. It's a lot safer.
Yeah. So would you recommend for a Black American to come and have a stay, to come and live?
Oh, definitely. And thousands of them are moving here. But I'm going to be honest and say that I love Jamaica. It's beautiful, but it's more expensive than countries in Africa. And I know this is going to sound outrageous, but my number one reason why I think it's better to move to Africa is because I think Jamaica is too close to America. It's too geographically close to America. And I'm going to tell you why. I hope you don't think it's
Yeah.
too outrageous. You can edit it out if you need to. But, basically what's going on right now is the US and Russia are at war with each other in Ukraine. What you call it? When they have a war in another country, but they're really fighting against each other. Well, they're doing like they're doing in Sudan right now. In Sudan, it's Russians and I don't know who else fighting in Sudan. With a proxy
Is
war.
it?
Yeah. Yeah. Right now
Yeah.
the US and Russia are fighting a proxy war in Ukraine. But most people mentally dismiss it. They don't realize that there is a war between Russia and the United States. And that's part of the reason why I left as well. I just wanted to get out of there before the war comes to the United States. And that's why I think being in Africa is safer than being in the Caribbean, because if the war comes to the United States, then you're going to be too close to the US. And if you need to even leave the region, it's going to be, it might be hard to leave the region if that happens. And there are lots of people who think that that could happen. So,
All right.
if you, yeah.
All right. Have I cut you short?
No. I'm just concerned about talking too much.
No problem. It's no problem.
Yeah.
So, have you noticed any differences or similarities in the treatment of Black people compared to the US? Wait. Have you received some special treatment following that you are from US? And there's this thing that there's this proverb in Swahili. Swahili is a language in Kenya. It says that mgeni njoo mwenyeji pona. And
Okay.
it revolves in the concept of when the visitor comes,
Yeah.
we give him the best that we
Right.
don't give our people. You see?
Yes.
Is that
Jamaica's the same way. We're very African here. Yes. It's the same way in Jamaica. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, just like how when African Americans go to Africa or Kenyans return home, they get treated special. It's the same thing here in Jamaica. Yeah. You definitely get treated better. But that is part of our culture too, to treat visitors well and give them the best. Yeah, it's part of our culture here.
So, do you feel like they have crossed boundaries to the extent that they don't like themselves, and so they try to show only the good side of them to visitors, but they don't show the good side of them to Africans. For example, myself and my partner. So let's say we are fighting, and I'm always bitter with her, nasty and all that. But when say you've visited Kenya and we've invited you, so I will pretend to be good to you, but that's not the real me.
Okay.
Are you feeling like they are faking it, or do you feel like that is the true treatment that you would have received?
Well, I don't think it's that extreme. I just think it's, Jamaicans, like Africans, are very polite, and they're especially polite to visitors. I don't, like for example, in Ghana, Ghanaians are so polite and friendly to the people moving there. But then you watch that video where they're saying these horrible things, and then the YouTuber says, "Well, that's a very common. It's a very common way of thinking in Ghana." I don't think it's like that here. I don't really think people here, have a deep dislike for newcomers or people returning. I mean, I think maybe they might be maybe there's a part of them that might think you're rich, and then maybe a part of them might be a little jealous. But I haven't experienced any hostility, and I mean, there's certain differences, culturally. Even though I'm Jamaican, there are cultural differences between me and the people who've lived here their whole lives. And, the advice that people tell you is to, you have to be also, you have to make sure you live in a safe neighborhood. Like a lot of people, returnees will live in gated neighborhoods to stay safe because people think you're rich. But I don't think it's, no, I'm not really, no, I don't think people are fake. I think you know what it is? Jamaicans are very direct. Yeah.
Okay.
They're more direct.
I
They're
love
more direct than Africans are. They're more direct than Africans. I think Africans are more polite than Jamaicans. So I don't think it's that extreme. I don't think they're extremely phony. No. No.
Yeah. I am happy that you're able to say that.
Yeah.
So, so the question was, have you noticed any differences or similarities in the treatment of Black people compared to the US? You've answered that. So we'll go to the third question. What aspect of Jamaican culture and lifestyle do you find most appealing or interesting?
Okay. Well, people are very community oriented here, and people are very quick to help people. So yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's very community oriented here. The people are always looking to help you. That's one thing I love. And most of all, I love the weather, and it's really beautiful here. And I love getting to know my country because I left as a child, so I didn't really know it. And there's a lot of development happening here. The government's building a lot of highways, and that's making it easier to get around the country. So it's really nice. And there's a lot, even though COVID happened, a lot of countries their economies might have been negatively affected, but surprisingly, Jamaica just continued in a lot of ways like nothing happened. Like there's a lot of development happening here. There are lots of opportunities here for people who are business minded, because like Africa, you have to create your own jobs. So there are lots of opportunities here. So.
I love that. I love that there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
So, Kuya, at what age did you leave United States? Not really the age. You don't have to tell us the age, but in which year did you leave Jamaica, moving to USA? Because I can tell from your accent,
Yeah.
you have adopted a lot of Black American accent more than the
Okay.
Jamaican. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I moved to the US when I was 11.
11
And
years.
yeah, I was 11 years old. Yeah. Yeah. So I spent most of my life there. Yeah. Yeah. And my husband's American, and we talk about it all the time. Now that we're living here, we wish we had moved here a long time ago. I especially wished I had brought my children here to finish their education. I think it would have been so much better for them. Because I think, children, they get to maintain a lot more innocence for a lot longer. People are friendlier. People are kinder. I think their social life would have been less stressful than it was in the US. Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So number 4 is, how have you adapted to the local customs and traditions in Jamaica? Are there any challenges or surprises you've encountered?
I don't know if I've had to adapt to anything because life here is very comfortable. It's really, I don't feel like my life has changed that much since, I feel like I could be in a city, a small town in America, honestly. So I'm really not doing much different. Oh, the only thing I've done culturally that's unique to Jamaica and different from the US. They have shared taxis. I've taken those, and you guys have matatus. We have these mini buses that are like the matatus, but they're not as fancy as your matatus. Your matatus are really fancy. Ours are just plain minivans. They're just plain mini buses. Yeah. So I've been taking those because we've been doing things to integrate a little bit more with people. Yeah. So that's the only thing.
So this question was about traditions, and that Jamaica is very, very much connected to West Africa,
Yes.
particularly Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that Jamaicans practice voodoo. Have you ever practiced voodoo?
No, but it's very common in our culture. It really is. We don't call it voodoo though. We call it obia. Yeah.
Mm.
There's it's a big part of our culture, but no, that's not something that I practice because I know that, that's a spiritually dangerous thing to do. Yeah.
Mm.
Very
Okay.
spiritually dangerous. Yeah. And
Okay.
I especially learned that from some Africans I've watched on YouTube. Anyway, I won't go into any more details, but yeah, I mean, there are people here who do practice that. And I don't know how much we are like Ghana, but I would say Jamaica, to me, and a lot of Jamaicans would agree, I think Jamaicans are more like Nigerians than we are like Ghanaians. I
Oh.
really think we're more like Nigerians than Ghanaians. And I think most people who do their DNA find that they have Nigerian DNA. And some people have Ghanaian DNA. I mean, sorry, Kenyan DNA as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll say why I think Jamaicans are more like Nigerians. I think Nigerians are very assertive people, and I think Ghanaians are more laid back. And I think in terms of like music and creativity, we're more like Nigerians.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, some of the more recent Africans who came to Jamaica were Yoruba people from Nigeria after slavery. And in some parts of Jamaica, their culture is very pronounced. I know Ghanaians like to claim us, and a lot of people say a lot of Jamaicans, when they go to Ghana, they say Ghana's a lot like Jamaica, but I don't know. But I might have a bias. I may have a bias. I don't know. I love Nigerians. I love their food. I love their style.
You are not biased. You are giving your perspective. Let me connect
Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah.
Power. It's raining. Now we have power. So that's really good. Now let's see about number 5, which will be, what are some of the biggest cultural differences you've observed between USA and Jamaica? I'm speaking more of culture, don't worry.
Okay, one of the biggest differences culturally. Okay. Yeah, I think the way children are taught in school here, it teaches them to be a little too passive. And yeah, so I have a little bit of a problem with that. I know they might think they're teaching them to be polite, but I think it's kind of teaching them to be like almost, I think it's a leftover of the colonial education. And in America, you have to be more assertive. And I'd say that they're not as assertive or independent minded as we are in America. Yeah. And here in Jamaica, you have to create your own jobs. So it doesn't make sense to raise people to be like servants. You know what I mean? When they have to go create their own job. And also, people here, they don't spend much time on the internet. They don't use the internet because I guess partially because they have communities, they're with their friends. They spend more time with their friends. Whereas in America, people don't have time. It's not community centered. It's more like it's every man for himself. People spend more time on the internet. That's why it's easy for you to get an American audience for your YouTube channel. But easier to get an American audience than to get an African audience, right? Am I right? Yeah, because we spend a lot of time. We do everything online in America. Every single thing is online. Everything.
According to my channel, what you've said is true.
Yeah.
There's like Americans, because when I go to my geography, I get those states arranged And I'm saying all
Hmm.
these are black people from the United States, and they're listening
Yes.
to these videos. Yes, and
Yeah.
I give a huge thanks to you and everyone else of the African diaspora who
And
are
we thank
watching my.
you too. I really appreciate what you're doing. I really see it as love in action. And I
Mm.
don't think you're
I'm
doing it
trying.
by accident. I think you're being led by the Most High, honestly. I really do. Yeah. I really do. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're like one
I've
of our
never.
angels from Africa. Yeah.
Oh my God. So we have number 6,
Mm-hmm.
which is in what this one is kind of tight. So be strong, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, in what ways has living in Jamaica influenced your perspective on race and identity?
Okay. Race and identity. Hmm. Well, Well, Jamaicans are similar to Africans in that in Jamaica, we never had a lot of people from other races living here.
Mm,
It's always been a country, the population of mostly Black people. We're like 98% Black.
mm,
So in that way, we're similar to Africa. Um, so Jamaicans here have a similar attitude to white people and people of other races. So they don't understand racism at all. So when you tell them about racism in America, I don't think they fully comprehend it.
mm,
They think racism is like discrimination. And discrimination is
mm,
different from racism. For example,
mm.
they have classism here, which I'm sure they have in Kenya. And you have tribalism and you have classism in Kenya, right? Am
Oh,
I
we
right?
have those.
Yeah.
We have
Yes.
tribalism, yeah,
Yeah, in Jamaica
and
we have classism. And so for some Jamaicans
what,
it's a challenge
what's
that they deal with.
what's classism? What's
That's
classism?
where the rich people treat the poor people badly. Yeah.
Mm,
So some people will tell me, oh, when I tell them about racism in America, they'll say, oh, well, we have that here too. Sometimes you go to the stores and they'll follow us around and, make us feel uncomfortable, unwelcome in the stores. And I said, I always, tell them that, I understand what they're saying. It doesn't feel good when that happens. But that is different from racism in America. Because in America, we were followed around in the stores. They're doing it now. As a matter of fact, people get called, have the police called on them right now in America. Black people get the police called on them just for being in a store. Yeah, those things happen up there, but the difference is that when that happens to you in America, it's happening to you in a country where there's violence, where when the police shows up, they could kill you. Whereas, in Jamaica, if someone's following you around the store, the police is not going to show up and kill you. And also, the police aren't killing you because you're Black.
mm,
It would be because of something else. I'll tell you something that happened to me the other day. I took an Uber, and the
mm.
Uber got a ticket, got stopped by the police, and he was given a ticket. And he was this is how comfortable he was with the police. He wasn't nervous at all. He asked the police if he could do him a favor. And, because he really was supposed to get like 3 tickets because he had 3 violations, right? And so he
Mm.
asked the police to give him a favor and not give him all the tickets. So the police only gave him a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt.
Mm.
In America, there's no way a Black person would feel comfortable asking the police to do him a favor and not give him a ticket. When we see the police in
now,
America, we're like,
now,
we think
now,
we're gonna be
now I get
dead.
it. Yeah.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ah,
I hope I answered your question because I know I've been on very long. So that's one of
Yes.
those things that was like when that happened, I was like, I called my daughter up and told her about it. She was like, "What?" I know that I don't know if it makes sense to you because you live in a black country too, and I know there's police brutality in your country too, but and there's police brutality here in Jamaica, but it's not going to happen because you're black. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get killed by the police for not having your seatbelt on, but that can happen in America. You can get killed for not having your seatbelt on if the police just feels like killing a black person that day. So yeah,
That's very serious.
I don't know. Did I answer your question? Because
So,
I talked a little too much, but I just wanted to share that experience. Yeah.
you know, you've answered the question, and you've answered the question with an example also. You've
Hmm.
given a distinction between classism,
Yeah.
tribalism, and racism. You've also
Exactly.
said how Jamaicans confuse classism for racism.
Yeah. Exactly. And also, I think
Mm.
we have it's a that I know they have the same thing in Kenya where light skinned people do better than dark skinned people, and that's a
Yeah,
problem here. There's a
now that
problem
one is
here.
colorism. Now
Yeah,
that one is
colorism.
colorism.
Yeah, we have that here in Jamaica too, but the difference is that the percentage of people who are light skinned is so small that
Yes.
they don't control everything. You
Yeah.
know,
Majority wins.
yeah, their numbers are decreasing. We're getting
Yeah.
darker, we're very dark here. People are very dark here.
Mm. You said that we don't have tribes in Jamaica.
Right. We don't have tribes
Wow.
because we're descendants of slaves, and we were
Mm,
mixed with
mm,
we're from lots of different countries in Africa, and also we're mixed with the indigenous people here. Yeah, so the slaves for hundreds of years didn't get to pick who they were going to have children with. We were treated like
mm,
animals. We were treated like animals. They literally bred us like animals.
mm.
So
So,
we don't know what tribe we're from.
yeah, I understand. So you
Hmm.
cannot say that. You see, bringing different people of different tribes together over
Hmm.
400 years,
Yeah,
there is no common language that can be used to communicate. So a system
exactly.
had to be there. The system that was there was built by the white man is the English language. So you guys have
Exactly.
no. Yeah, the only tribe you know is English.
Exactly. Well,
You
we
still
speak our language, patois, which is a mixture of lots of different tribes in Africa. But you know what's really interesting? We don't know enough about our language. I hear Ghanaians and Nigerians speak our language exactly the same way we do. So I think this language that we speak in Jamaica existed in Africa before it came here. Yeah.
Mm,
Like sometimes
yeah, yeah,
I've even heard Wodamaya use a
mm,
sentence that's exactly like how we would say something in Jamaica. And I've seen
mm,
Nigerians in all different parts of Nigeria speak our language. Yeah,
mm.
exactly like we would. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that,
Mhm.
that's true. That's so. The seventh one. Have you faced any specific challenges or prejudices as a black Jamaican in
Mhm.
Jamaica? So have you faced any
No,
prejudice? Have you been
no. As a
compared?
matter of fact, I had the
Mm,
opposite experience.
yeah.
When I lived in America, I was always afraid to go look for an apartment or just walking into a nice building or a nice hotel or
Yes.
a nice store. I always felt nervous. I always felt, and this is the first time in my life that I went to rent an apartment and I didn't have to worry about racism. I can't even put into words how amazing that felt.
Mm,
When you're black and you go to look for an apartment or to buy a house in America, you worry that they're not going to want to rent it to you or sell it to you because you're black.
mm,
And it was always a painful thing. I mean, I bought houses and a lot of times didn't even go to the closing. And here it just felt so amazing to not have to worry about that. Just imagine what it's like, a basic need like housing, and you're worried that you're going to be denied it just because of the color of your skin.
It's
Yeah, so I've
bad.
had the opposite experience. Yeah, it feels
Mm.
amazing. It feels amazing every day to be Black. I'm telling you, I've been here a year, and for most of the year, every day I would wake up and just be so grateful for that and just be so happy about that. Just being
So,
Black here. It's
okay.
an amazing experience.
So being, how long do you see yourself in Jamaica?
Well,
Are you
I
living there forever?
unless I move to Africa, I'm going to be here forever. But
Yeah.
this is going to sound crazy, but I'm thinking of maybe living in both places. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, it's
hoping to
okay.
do.
It's okay.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping to do that because
Yeah.
if I can get a house here in Jamaica at Jamaican prices, because here's another thing. We returnees or expats coming here pay a higher price for housing than Jamaicans pay. So if I
Mm.
can get a house at a Jamaican price, I would like to go to Africa also and get a house at an African price. But
African price. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, not get
Okay.
overcharged.
Okay. Let
Sorry
me
about
let
that.
me tell you something. Let me. There's this concept that uh, I made a video about Black Americans coming to Africa, particularly Tanzania, and they were coming to Tanzania with
Yeah.
nothing, and then they started asking Africans for money. They started
Wow.
asking Africans for food, all
Oh.
because it was way cheaper in Africa. Sometimes the media might misinform us, and sometimes some of we YouTubers can make Africa appear so good without telling the
Hmm.
other truths,
Hmm.
and this can mislead people. Yes. So
I
it's
know
good
what you
that
mean.
when
I know what you mean, but it's still cheaper in Africa. Africa is cheaper than, for example, Kenya is less expensive than Jamaica. I have seen houses for sale, brand new houses for sale in Kenya. I watch African Traveler. I don't know if you ever watch his channel. And
yeah,
he bought a house for 50,000, a brand new house for 50,000 US dollars.
mm,
You The only way I could get a house at that price in Jamaica is to get it at the Jamaican price.
mm,
But at the price that I get charged, it's closer to the U.S. price. That same house in Jamaica, actually, African Travel's house, I think would sell for about 350 to $400,000 here in Jamaica. So
mm.
you see the big difference in price?
Yes. So
Yeah. So Jamaica's a
I
lot
just
more expensive. Sorry.
I still, I still don't understand the how much of Jamaican money is equivalent to Kenyan money. If I'm able to understand the conversion, but I can take it from you because you've done your due research.
Well, I'm giving you in American dollars because
Mm,
I can't convert from Jamaican to Kenyan, but I think in American dollars anyway because I don't think in Jamaican dollars. I was thinking in terms of for houses because it's such a high price. I just think in American
mm.
dollars. So I'm telling you this in American dollars. So when I say $50,000 in Kenya, I'm talking about 50,000 US dollars.
In
That same
Kenya.
house in Jamaica would
Yes.
sell for about anywhere from 300 to 400,000 American dollars in Jamaica.
That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. But if I was to buy that house in a different neighborhood, where a
Yes.
regular Jamaican would buy it, I could probably get
Mm,
that same house for maybe $30,000. 30,000
mm,
US dollars. So, in a regular Jamaican neighborhood, it would be cheaper than Kenya. But because
mm,
I speak with an American accent, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get charged
mm,
more.
mm.
Or because I'm looking at a neighborhood that the average Jamaican wouldn't look at, they sell those
Yes.
houses to returnees and to expats at those high
Yes.
prices. basically American
Actually,
prices.
actually,
Yeah.
we also have such homes. We also have such homes here in Africa, here in
Mm-hmm.
Kenya specifically. I have seen them with my own eyes. I've entered them. Actually, I did a video on one of those videos, on one of those
Mm-hmm.
houses where
Yeah.
Black American people can live. You see, and that's
Yeah.
we have it's like a stairs up. You see, there's this one on
Yeah.
top with the
Mm-hmm.
price. This one, then there's the lowest.
Right.
For me,
Exactly.
if myself I'm a Black American and I want to come to Africa, this is working for me now. I can only
Mm-hmm.
get. I normally not prefer the lowest, and I normally not prefer the highest. I like
Right.
it warm, warm,
Yeah.
hot, not cold. Yes,
Exactly.
somewhere. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Kenya is less expensive than Jamaica.
Mm, that is what
Africa is
I'm
less
seeing.
like when I was in South Africa is a lot less expensive than Jamaica. A lot less
Really?
expensive. Yes.
Mm.
Like for example, in South Africa, in one of the nicest neighborhoods, you can rent, let's say, a two-bedroom apartment for like 700 US dollars a month. That same apartment
Mm.
in Jamaica would be about 1,300 US dollars in Jamaica.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
The
And the
difference is so
groceries are cheaper in South Africa than Jamaica as well. Yeah.
mm,
Groceries are they import a lot of things from the US. So you can either pay, well, some things are cheaper, but a lot of the groceries that you can get in the US are about US prices. Like if you want to buy yogurt and cheese, you're going to pay US prices for it. But you can get produce, like vegetables and fish and local beef and chicken cheaper, but not as cheap as
mm,
South Africa. South Africa is cheaper.
mm.
And I'm sure Kenya
So
is
I
cheaper than
know.
South Africa. Am I right? Kenya is cheaper than South Africa? Yeah.
Sure, sure,
hmm
sure. So
hmm
I know that you have, you have put some poultry farming so that you don't incur extra expenses, right?
well, we're moving. We're moving to the countryside, and we're going to start getting our food from the farmers. That's what we're going to
Yeah.
start doing. Yeah. We're going to buy our
They,
vegetables all from the farm, meat and everything, and get our fish straight from the fishermen. We're going to get to know the fishermen. That's what we're going to
mm,
do. And we're going to go to the grocery store as little as possible because we can do
yes,
that. Yeah.
yes,
hmm
yes. So the eighth one, what
hmm
advice would you give to other Black Americans considering a move to Africa?
Okay. Yeah, definitely join an expat group. That really made a big difference for me because then that gives you an opportunity to get a community together. So you have a support system because it's really very challenging. It can be lonely sometimes because it's not that easy to socialize with locals because you know that you're different, they know you're different. So you don't always understand each other. So definitely an expat group really makes a big difference. Like most of my friends are returnees that I met in my expat group, and
Mm,
yeah, a lot of them are from the UK. Yeah, and some of them are Americans.
wow.
Some of them are Black Americans who moved here. Oh, and I want to add that the Black Americans who've moved here, some of them have been living here for over 10 years, and they say that they are treated like they're Jamaicans by the Jamaicans. Because they just look at them and they look like us and they sound like us, because even though they speak like a Black American, they just say, well, you sound just like one of my family members who live up in America.
Mm,
So they get treated like Jamaicans here.
yeah. So
Another
it's
thing I'd
good for
recommend too, can I add one more thing I think is really important, which I'm looking to do? You
uh,
if you have um and people have mentioned it, that trauma, dealing with the trauma of post the PTSD from living in America, I think it's a good thing to get a therapist as well. You may need a
yeah,
therapist. And it
yeah.
may be just for a short time. And I think, I
Mm,
don't know, my lighting is changing about that. Yeah. So another
okay.
thing too, you're going to heal from the trauma as time goes by. As the days go and the months go by, you feel better and better. So you're not going to always feel as you did in the beginning, but definitely a therapist, I think, would make a big difference.
Yeah, true, true, true. Therapists are there to help us with such situations.
Yeah.
Mm. So you've said that it's good when they join expert group, right?
Yes, and they can find them on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you have one particular expert group that you would recommend a Black American to join? One that you
Oh,
trust?
I don't know the ones in Africa. I think for each country, there's an expat group, at least one expat group for those countries. I know there's one for Kenya. But in Jamaica, the group that I belong to is Black Expat and Repats in Jamaica, and they have a website. So I don't think I can put a link in. Yeah, maybe I can send you the link later because I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have access to the chat right now. That's the only place where I could put that in, because if I write it into my comments, YouTube will take it out. YouTube won't allow it, but I can give it to you and you can add it in. But they're a really good group.
Yeah.
This group was started by a woman, a Black American woman from Mississippi. Yeah, she's been living in Jamaica now for 3 years and she's really enjoying it.
Okay, let's move to number 9. How has your understanding of Jamaica history and its connection to the African diaspora evolved since you lived in the country? You've said that you've been there for 1 year. Maybe you've gathered some information.
Well, I've always known how Jamaica is connected to Africa because Jamaica is very African. Jamaica is extremely African. And I'm from a little, I would call it a village so you can get a better image of what where I'm from is like. I'm from a little village up in the mountains. And yeah, Jamaica is very African. Even the way we do funerals is straight from West Africa. Is very similar to how they do it in Ghana and probably in Nigeria. They might do funerals the same way. Yeah, so we're I've always, I'm Jamaican American. I've always known I'm different. I'm not an American. I'm Jamaican. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, my father, for example, when I was growing up, my father was the herbalist in our family. So if we were sick, he would give us herbs before he'd take us to the doctor. And our healthcare here, we have free healthcare. So he wasn't even doing it to save money. It's just that much part of our culture. Yeah. So yeah, we're very African. And as you can see from even the music, reggae music, it's African. Yeah, we're very African here.
Yeah, true. So let me ask you now the last question, number 10, because it's it's really late here where I am right now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's around 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh, you're up late. Don't you have to go to work today?
No. Tomorrow, no, I'm not going.
Oh, okay. All right.
What's the time on your end?
Let's see if I can see the time. I can't see the time on my phone. Let me see if I can. It's gonna be. Oh, it's 5:23. 5:23 p.m.
That's a really big difference.
Yeah.
So let me ask you the last question so that I can also go to sleep. So number 10, are there any notable social or political issues in Jamaica that you've become particularly passionate about? How do you engage with these political and social, issues as a Black American expert?
Well, I'm trying to help, small business owners here with my knowledge of the internet.
Yes.
trying to help them to work smarter, use the internet to work smarter and improve their business. I'm joining a Chamber of Commerce to volunteer there to provide, help them find marketing assistance to build their business because people don't use the internet much here. I'm finding different ways to help them to easily improve their business. And I'm also thinking of becoming a volunteer grant writer. I'm going to look for grants because there are lots of grants available to business owners anywhere in the world. So you could be in Africa, there are lots of grants available for business owners or people trying to start a business in Africa. Same here in Jamaica. And it's not just that, they have grants available. There are organizations set up to assist small businesses. So that's what I'm hoping to do because it's something I'm passionate about. Everywhere I go, I try to help. Even if I'm with an Uber driver or a taxi driver, I'm always giving them ideas on how they can make more money. So I'm going to just do that as a volunteer. So that's my goal. In terms of politics, I don't get too much involved in politics because I don't really have any respect for politicians. I think they're all untrustworthy. Doesn't matter what country they're in. I don't, for example, in my country, when I look at what's going on in Rwanda, when I see how beautiful Rwanda is after what they've been through, and then I look at my country and I say, my country has been independent since 1962, and we can't compare ourselves to Rwanda. Rwanda is kicking butt. Look at how beautiful that place is. So, in Jamaica, people are kind of, we don't really have a lot of faith in the politicians. We're disappointed. So I don't get involved. I don't want to waste my time with them. So I'm just going to see what I can do to help people, help people make more money or find online jobs. That's another thing I want to do is help people find online jobs. I've been helping some college grads and, just giving them, or people who haven't even gone to college, I show them how they can get work without spending the money going to college. You don't have to go to college to become an IT professional. You know what I mean? I used to be, my job was in IT recruiting. I used to recruit IT professionals. So I show them how they can start an IT career without getting a college degree. Why spend the money on a college degree if you don't have to? So those are the kind of things I'm doing to help community-wise.
I love that. You are giving back to the society. It's interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So, without further ado, let me say thank you for you allowing me to host you, and
Thank you.
also thank you for your support. You supported me, you and some other people also of Black America. I was able to get a ring light. And,
Nice. That's
I'm
so
gracious.
great. I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help. I also sent you a link to Amazon. I would like to help you even just to get like an iPad. So
actually, this one is my partner's, and she
you have
uses it.
one.
It's my partner's. It's not mine. She uses
Okay.
it for studies. Yeah, but
Oh,
I
good.
wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind having my own for live stream. I just stole this one.
All right. Okay. Yeah. They have really inexpensive ones on Amazon. I don't know. You guys have Amazon in Kenya? Because I know they have it in South Africa. Do they have it in Kenya?
Yeah. I'm Amazon. We can get them. We can always ask for shipment and receive them. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
So I
Well,
think
that's
I will
great.
continue. I will continue the conversation about the. It was a Kindle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we will continue the conversation, and we will find a way. You'll be able to. Uh, we will be able to see.
Yeah. Let's have conversation in the email about that. Yeah,
Mm.
that's good. Nice.
Thank you.
All right, terrific. I'm really happy for you, and I just want to say congratulations on how well your channel is growing. Your content is excellent, and you're gonna keep growing. You've actually grown very fast. and I can see
Thank you.
it's gonna continue to take off.
It's for your support, you and everyone. Without your support, man, I would still be at 2,000 subscribers or 1,000. You know.
Yeah.
So before you knew my channel, you've come to realize my channel when I was at what subscribers?
Hmm. I don't remember, but maybe 6,000 or less. I don't remember. Yeah, your
Oh,
channels was taken off. It's your content. You've got great content. Yeah.
yeah.
But you know
So,
what? One thing I think though, I really think it'd be great if you could do more content about Kenya, because I think Kenya, especially now with what the president said, is a place that Black Americans are going to want to move to. So it'd be really nice if you could do a little focus on that. And I was hoping that I could also interview you. So maybe I can interview you in the future on your channel. Yeah. Because there's just some information I think would be great that we could pull
yes.
out that could help people learn more about Kenya. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Kenya is a
do
great
you know?
country for people who are looking to move to Africa because it's very developed. So it would be a
Yes.
soft landing. It's a more developed country than Ghana. So it doesn't
Mm.
matter that a lot of us came from Ghana. The fact that it's just the fact that when they move there, I think it's easier to assimilate into the Kenyan culture because it's so developed.
Mm.
You have more amenities
Mm.
than Ghana.
Mm.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Kenya is Kenya is so developed, and I will be making more. You know, not that I'm complaining. I am not complaining, but
Mm-hmm.
I still don't have the necessary. You see, I'm trying to buy this, buy that, buy that. Actually, I'm saving up for buying a camera that I'll be using to
Mm-hmm.
do documentary style videos, and
Yeah.
um, you will see great changes ahead.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Well, I hope you get more support on your live chats. I think it would be good if you let people know, have a regular time on the weekend or whatever, or evening, whatever works for you. Do the same time every week, same time, same day every week, so that people will come to it on a regular basis. And I think people will support you more to help you to buy the equipment that you need.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure it. I have not shared because the time you guys are awake is the time I am
Hmm.
sleeping. So I have to find a balance between when you guys are awake and when I'm not. I'm able to talk because right now it's really late.
I know. Maybe you could do middle of the day on a Saturday or Sunday. The middle of the day
Yeah.
on Sunday. I know a YouTuber in Jamaica. He does his live 12 o'clock Eastern time every Sunday. And he's been
Mm,
doing the same for years, the same time, same day for years. So
mm.
I don't know what 12 o'clock Eastern time in the US is to your time. I think hmm, it's 5 hours. I don't know what the time difference is between Kenya and the US. But I
Mm.
think if 2 o'clock
It's uh, it's
is
uh, it's
10,
9 hour difference. It's a 9 hours
9 hour
difference.
difference. Okay.
Yes,
So I
yes,
don't know what time that is. I'll have to figure it out.
yes.
But you could even do it earlier on a Sunday, maybe 10,
Yeah,
10
yeah,
or 11 o'clock. 11,
yeah.
10 or 11 a Sunday, Eastern time.
Mm, 11 is way better. 10, I'm still doing the church services.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I know,
You know the
I
time
know
I'm
I'm
giving
finding
you. When I say 11 o'clock, I'm talking about Eastern time. What time is that for you? So it's 9 hour difference. So that would be 11
11.
plus 9.
That will be 2 p.m. in my time.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't that be good? Is that church time for you?
2 p.m. is okay.
Yeah.
2 p.m.
Yeah,
is
that could
okay.
be
I'm not
good.
2 p.m. I'm still active. I've not yet slept. It's okay.
Yeah. 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 Think
Yes.
about that. Because, African Tigress, she used to do
Oh,
these
yeah,
lives and she did the same time every day, every day that she
mm,
did it. And it really made a huge difference on her channel.
Yes.
It really blew her channel up. She grew really fast. Yeah.
Actually, African Tigress and I, we come from almost the same area in
Oh,
the
really?
village. Yeah,
Oh, you're
so
from
we
the same
speak the
town as
same.
her? You're from the
We are
same town?
Luos. Yes.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
wow. Mm-hmm.
African Tigress is that lady with the glasses, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the name of the town
So
she's from again? I can't remember. It's on the Lake Victoria. What's it called? What's the
which
name of her
one?
town? What's the name of that town again? It's on Lake Victoria. What's it called?
It's
It's
called
the town where
African
she's
Tigress.
from. Yeah, what town is she
Oh,
from again?
the town she's from is called Kisumu.
Kisumu, yeah. Kisumu, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kisumu
Miss Trudy's from
is
near there too. Miss Trudy's from near there.
actually myself and I. We are also close to Miss Trudy, and
Yeah.
we are from the same tribe. We speak the same language. What a coincidence!
Yeah. Except
Yes.
she's mixed. She's Luo and another tribe. She's part another tribe.
I didn't know about that. You you know it better than I do.
Well, I've been watching Miss Trudy since she had less than 10,000 subscribers back then. I was watching
Oh,
her since before she met Wodamaya, before she
really?
met African Tigress. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
maybe you have watched my partner's channel? Have you subscribed to my partner's channel?
I did. I subscribed to it. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched it, but I subscribed to it. I'll start watching it more.
I stopped watching so that you learn how to cook African foods.
Yes, I need to learn. I've always wanted Kenyan food and I never got to taste it because there aren't that many Kenyan restaurants. The one just opened up in New York City just before I left, and I was hoping to try it before I left. But yeah, I missed that opportunity. But hopefully I'll get to go to Kenya and actually eat the food there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're,
But I feel guilty. I
you're
don't
much.
want to keep you anymore because it's so late.
No, it's okay. It's
Oh,
okay. It's
Evans,
okay.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for the love you're showing us. I really, really appreciate it because I know a lot of people don't have the same compassion for us because it's hard for them to understand, that it's possible to live in America and be oppressed there. I know people have a hard time understanding that. They have a hard time processing that. So I appreciate your compassion and all the work you're doing for us. It's really amazing. It's beautiful.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, all
Thanks
right,
for
all right.
interviewing me.
Let me know sleep. Shalom.
All
Shalom.
right then. Shalom.
Wow, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.